Hello, welcome to my documentary about football finance. In this documentary you're going to see expert opinions and fans' views. So let's get started.
The most envied league in the world is about to explode into action once again.
Do you think the money in football is making the Premier League more exciting, or is it ruining it?
I think it's ruining it for the general support.
It's making it exciting at the moment because if you look at the Premier League at the moment, it's so close, like at the bottom and at the top.
I'd like to see now a wage cap on players because I think the wages have got ridiculous.
They just cannot keep playing the wages they are.
I think people are not playing for the love of the sport now, they're playing for the money.
Man United spent about 93 million the last decade. Liverpool spent around 110 million in the last decade as well. 450 million was spent in last year's transfer window. Man City spent 118 million in last year's transfer window. Portsmouth suffered a 9-point deduction penalty. Well, one thing's for sure, the money has helped the Premier League and it's clearly made the fans more excited. So, take a look at this.
You ready? This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name. He doesn't need his name up in lights, he just wants to be heard, whether it's the beat of the mic. He feels so unlike everybody else, alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know. But no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise.
Hello, I'm Abdi Osman, and this is a Sunday league game between two teams in the Redbridge League, and after the game I caught up with their manager. Do you think that there's too much money in football these days? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, there is a lot. The prices are high, and like some clubs, even you see in the Premiership, find it hard to compete to get players. So it often ends up in like 40s dominating the table, and it doesn't allow for like English players to come through because they go and spend a lot of money on players from overseas, and it does mess the market up.
Do you think the money has helped the recognition of the Premier League?
I think the money has helped boost it, and it is, to me, I think it's like one of the most entertaining leagues that you can watch with football. Because I watch the other leagues, they're not as entertaining, and it's a lot to do with the money, but I think it's a lot to do with the fans as well. The fans also play a big part in what we do today.
As a Sunday League manager, sometimes it can be frustrating because obviously these players play for a couple of clubs to help them. Do you think it's frustrating sometimes that they might not make it?
Yeah, I think it's really frustrating for them, and it is for me, because a lot of them have the talent of some of the people that they have from overseas, but they don't get the chance to show that.
I went to Dagenham Redbridge to interview their managing director, Steve Thompson. Is there too much money in football?
Well, I suppose that's where it depends where you are. There is a lot of money in football, and is it a good thing or a bad thing? It depends on how it's distributed.
Is this creating a gap between teams?
The gap between the Premiership and the Championship is now so wide that it's almost impossible for the Championship clubs to compete against the 3 teams that have been relegated from the Premiership.
Will this continue to rise?
If I knew the answer to that, I'd probably be a very rich man. There's certainly the money has risen or will rise over the next 3 years. The Premiership signed a new 3-year deal that starts beginning the next season, which has, I don't know the figures, but it's gone up substantially.
Do you think money in football is a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing.
It's a good thing.
Well, I think it's helped to bring the best players to Britain.
A bit of both, really. It's ruined some clubs, but other clubs it's helped.
Has this ruined the homegrown players?
Yeah, a lot. I think, yeah.
It's hard to say, really.
Do you think this is going to change in the next couple of years?
Definitely, yeah. Most definitely.
No, I can only see it getting worse.
All together now. All together now. together now.
The most envied league in the world is about to explode into action once again.